9 overall, 92 hours since the beginning of May.
I really want to stop there, and like everybody should think 5 seconds about this. Today my speaker will be Anand. Share your story, your trading journey together with us. Let's go.
Yeah, so I guess on my trading journey, I started with swing trading about a year and a half ago, using mostly Elliott waves, not very data driven, can be very subjective. I was making some level of profits, but it was, very inconsistent, and it wasn't like systematic that way. When you announced the academy, I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. I was like ready to go. That was kind of, how I got in. And then kind of starting at the academy, I think I was very similar to a lot of people in the sense that I didn't like losing. I was chasing trades. I was missing entries. The mindset wasn't super great because I would see other people posting, they made 6R, 7R,
Yes.
this week. And, that was my goal kind of coming in. And I was I'm at -3 or -4. And that was kind of like discouraging. That was not very good for the mindset. What helped was the one-on-ones. You reiterated kind of how important the back testing portion was and how important doing stuff mechanically. So that helped a lot with the mindset. I'm kind of like a math nerd, so I went in and I like built out the spreadsheet of like, all right, what if I only win 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3? What happens in terms of like my portfolio value over time? And then I also did kind of the back testing to see what the results would be. I was like, okay, if I just take very simple trades, frame 1 trades, good risk management, and I, accept, losing 2 out of 3, I can still make profit. So that was like the first kind of like mindset shift for me.
What would you say was like the most, what helped you the most to also stay focused and continue with the journey you started?
The thing that made the most difference was the 2 or 3 week kind of robot mechanical trading assignment that you gave me. That kind of seeing that in action, just making the deal ahead of me, even if I feel like scared at that, when that candle opens, I'm getting into the market, it doesn't matter, and just doing it. And then kind of seeing the results, and then, getting stopped out and seeing, not the end of the world, it's fine. Getting 3-4 losses in a row, and then seeing a couple winners, and then at the end of the week being like, oh, well, shit, I'm in profit. In one of our one-on-ones, I think I was talking about how I was like missing trades and afraid to pull the trigger. And you basically said you need to learn to walk before you run. I think you said bring your risk down, like in terms of like dollar value. Be willing to lose 10R, so like 2R every session for this next week or next 2 weeks. Do everything mechanically. Just like, time is up, you enter as long as you get 3R. Yeah, like a robot. That was probably a big shift for me. The first week I did that, I won 2 trades and I lost like 6 or 7, but I was up on the week. So I was like up 4 or 5R on that week. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this like a robot and I'm getting some sort of result. That was a big change. And then it also kind of showed me with like real money and like real world that you can make a profit just following very, very simple rules as long as you're willing to execute each and every setup that you see. All my trades were minimum 3R and ideally 4 or 5R. Using time as 50% of your evaluation. That got me, I think, from borderline profitable to like making 5 to 7R most weeks. Those pieces, just like doing it mechanically and making sure, not being afraid of losing and just having that experience. And then a ton of back testing kind of changed things. I think just being like comfortable with taking the loss and being, instead of entering with like, I hope I don't lose, changing it to I'm going to enter because this is a good setup. And whatever the market does, it does. My job is to enter because my back testing says if I do this every time, I will make profits over the long term. Just seeing it with like real numbers and a real account, I can see it in my account. I can see like all the trades and the result, money's up at the end of the 2 weeks.
Only those who are doing it, right? There is a high percentage win rate from those who doing this exercise constantly, like or did for a quite amount of time. They actually the students who are pulling in the profits, right?
Yeah.
That most of the people who did this ended up crossing the river afterwards.
The first, let's say 4 or 5 times I pulled the trigger on like the opening of the next candle, there was definitely some emotion there. And then at the end of it, it just becomes, it becomes not a big deal. It's kind of like desensitizes you to it. You can start seeing other things because your mind isn't chattering of like, I hope I win, I hope I lose. You're just focused on the market.
When you have learned to let go R's and win or minus or win or lose or I'm right or I'm wrong, all of these are categories we don't want to have in trading, right? Once you don't have this anymore, the clarity of what you then see in price definitely goes to a way more advanced level than it has before. Then you are in flow with the market. Right now, when you're having these thoughts, when you have these battles, you're not in flow with the market. You're busy with yourself, right? So you're not trading the market. You're literally trading yourself. That's the sad and on the other side, the reality in trading for most of the people out there. You can quiet your mind. For example, putting doubts, right? Should I take this entry? Should I not take this entry, right? All this chatter which is going on during a normal brain who is not trained in meditation, he can turn off, right? And that, of course, leads to clarity where his brain is literally only focused on what is happening in the market right now. For trading, it's a huge advantage for those who really master their mind.
Yeah, when my wife goes to sleep, I do my re-engineering work for a few hours. Then I go to bed after. 5 hours of re-engineering work or back testing / re-engineering work for every 1 hour of live stream. So after my wife,
say it again, please.
5 hours of re-engineering work for every 1 hour of live stream.
Say it again. Last time, sorry.
5 hours of re-engineering for every 1 hour of live stream.
Okay, one question. Like I have to pull this out now, right?
Yeah.
Are you working full time?
Yeah, I'm working full time.
Do you have a very little, I think a daughter, right?
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old daughter.
Okay, so obviously you have a my wife most likely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and now sorry again, how many hours?
5 hours of re-engineering for every 1 hour of live stream. Okay. So it'd be about at minimum 15 hours a week of re-engineering.
Wow. Respect.
My daily routine is, wake up, take care of my daughter, drop her off at daycare. I do the RDR usually until 12:30, because 12:30 I start my work.
Yes.
Then at night I spend time with my family.
Yes.
And then once my wife goes to bed, I do, couple hours of back testing, and then on the weekend I'll do kind of like longer sessions.
This is like extraordinary. This is like really, really something people should really carefully listen to. It's possible even with a full-time job. So chapeau, right? And I think everyone who's listening to this will think about that. And sometimes I read in the chat, I have a full-time job, I can't do this, I couldn't do that. I don't know. Everybody has to put his own priorities. Would you mind us showing just some trades you took this week or last week, just that people see what you're trading? Here we get a short confirmation. Mm-hmm. These are kind of our time clusters. It went down, got stopped out, break even. By getting break even, that means I can keep trading. I can look for other setups. So and I'm saving my money. So that's a big difference. My story there was, all right, if this is going to go down, I don't want this to ever go above the opening price. Which is why I put my stop there. Mm-hmm. If I had not lost 1R already, I probably would have put my stop above the 0.1. Yes. Retracement, negative 0.1, because that's what the DR lens data suggests. Once it got down past this level, moved my stops to break even. Yeah. Then when it started passing down here, I started trailing my stop down, and then eventually, it hit target about here. Calculated risk management, I call it. This whole trade is completely data and time backed up, right? Yeah. You have the mental capacity to say, okay, I got stopped out. So I'm going to jump in again because my time window is open. But like that shows the resilience you developed over the last weeks, right? Because you're able to execute the time trade just based on, okay, this is my time, I take this trade. Because all my backtesting, all my re-engineering showed me if I do this 100 times, I'm going to end up with big profit, right? This is resilience because you're not fighting with yourself anymore about, should I take this trade, should I not take this trade, oh my God, I got stopped out, I'm minus R. You are like logical, just very robotic, saying, okay, I take my time trade, and now I have the cluster, I have my whip over there, but I'm 100% sure with the statement I'm making right now, if you would be not where you are with your mindset, you would be not able to execute the second trade. Let's dive into your metrics.
These are all my trades. So this sheet goes back to being in May because that's when I switched to this sheet. Let me change this to when it begins. 9 overall, 92 hours since the beginning of May.
I really want to stop there and like everybody should think 5 seconds about this because the person is working full time and he's only trading IDR session. So your win rate sits over the whole period on 39%. You took 56 trades with 22 winners, 22 losses, so equal. When we take out the break evens, you're like literally sitting at 50% win rate. But your average win, and that's why win rate is completely uninteresting, right? Look at his average win over the whole period. So his average winning trade is 5.2. So he is slinging a whooping 5R average win trade. The most impressive thing when you look at this is just like that obviously your risk management, that's what you also told us when you showed us your trades. It's just like you are with your mind where you have to be. And that's how trading is, right? It's not only that he's improving every day, it's also he's accepting the fact that trading is not linear. Much better would be talking about 21 hours in a month. And even better, it would be talking about 63 hours in a quarter, right? Because we don't have influence on the setups we are getting presented with the market. We have to show up every day consistently following on our plan. When you think about that Anand is working full-time, taking care of his daughter, has a family life, right? And only trades the RDR, you just have to be blown away from the results. You will come to a point where you don't have limits in your head. There are no crazy trades, there's nothing. It's just super mechanical, basic stuff, right? And it's consistent. The consistency is really which stands out there. The focus is really putting in the dedication to do the things what Anna told you today and what Buxa told you and what David did. All three of them, they got so good because they got the confidence in themselves that it's working no matter what win rate they have, right? They all can handle a minus week without even thinking about it because they're not focused on R anymore. All of them are focused on getting better every day. They are judging their performance, not their result. Follow the rules. The rules you set, that's what you follow. One I can tell you for sure, Anand, since my first one-on-one until today, is a completely different person when it comes to trading.